okay. I don't know if anyone knows that quote, but if you know the Uwe quote, type it in the comments below. What a day we're having so far, from performances to the beach to getting active outdoors in Balboa Park. Thank you, Gmoto, for your performance. Let me tell you all, though, out there, we're just getting started. As you can see, I got a bit hungry for lunch, and I wanted to support our crew and also a few local small businesses as part of the summer to-do list. So we got some delicious Mexican cuisine, we got some, we support a Black-owned business, and then we also got some awesome Asian food, all right in front of me. So I'm going to talk through a little bit of, like, I'm not going to eat it all because obviously this is not all for me as much as I'd like it to be, but Flavors of East Africa is where we went, and so they are originally from Kenya. They actually worked the San Diego Farmers Market in 1995, I believe, and they had the pride there of serving only the most authentic and freshest dishes. So from Flavors of East Africa, we have the jerk chicken and saffron rice, mandizi plantains, mubuzi curry, stewed goat curry with cornmeal, nyo-nyo, I'm so sorry if I'm saying these wrong, sukumawi, collard greens, and chapu bread. So I'm very excited to dig in with our crew. You can find Flavors of East Africa in North Park, I believe. And so we also have some Mexican cuisine, you know, the truest of all, the California burrito from Cotijas. And I know that San Diegans, we all have our favorite spot for burritos, a favorite spot for fries, and another for tacos. I think we're the best. I know that's a little racy line, I suppose, but we have some amazing Mexican food here in San Diego, and I dare you to challenge us because we're gonna eat our way through the competition. We also have Asian cuisine from Shank and Bone in North Park, and thank you to the owners, Han and Jay Choi. We got Saigon chicken wings, we got Bansayo tacos, oh that one's crazy, which are fusion of mini Viet crepes in taco form. So mini Viet crepes in taco form. What an amazing fusion. And we also have the pho fries that have shank and flank sauteed with garlic, Thai basil, cilantro, onions, bean sprouts, and hoisin. I can only tell you, I wish I could throw smells through the screen, but the smells in here are filling up this room, and I'm so excited. The design of Shank and Bone, it was designed after Saigon and to represent the history and progress. I've also had the pleasure of working with a group here in San Diego that represents the history and progress, the Strategic Alliance of Ethnic Chambers. The alliance consists of the largest ethnic chambers of commerce, and how awesome is that? It consists of the Central San Diego Black Chamber of Commerce, the Asian Business Association San Diego, and the San Diego County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. These chambers represent the interests of tens of thousands of local businesses, and the group's priorities are community-based outreach, sharing business and technical assistance resources, networking events, educational workshops, and business advocacy through public policy priorities. In honor of all the fantastic support for small businesses, I actually have a giveaway for $20 to the barbecue pit. I have the gift certificate somewhere, but if you at home want a chance to support a local small business and win a gift card of your choice, just type in the comments below, what is your favorite neighborhood to eat food in? And we're just gonna choose someone at random, and we'll direct message you about your giveaway winning. So if you want your chance to win a $20 gift card to the barbecue pit, comment in the section below what neighborhood is your favorite to eat in, and we'll get that over to you. So good luck. I actually wanted to introduce the Strategic Alliance coming up. They're having a lunch with us. They represent, again, the diverse communities here in San Diego, and they're going to be sharing all of the beautiful, beautiful work that they're doing for our local businesses. So take it away, Strategic Alliance. I'm going to get to eating.
Yeah, I guess we could just start.
So who's hosting?
Yeah. Here we have Iris Garcia, the chairwoman of the San Diego County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We've got Donna, the president with the Central San Diego Black Chamber of Commerce. And you got Scraglio me over here, Jason Paglia with the Asian Business Association, San Diego. I think this was, we were just going to do more of a casual conversation and just kind of talk about how we kind of came to be and all of the work we're doing together. And I mean, I know a lot of folks had questions on and are starting to ask more like, you know, how did the conversation even come up, or how did we just kind of meet? And I mean, I think we started the conversation probably last summer, I want to say, and then we became formalized in the fall, I think, was when we started announcing that we were all working together. But I mean, I guess I could just start off by saying that we all started this conversation on, hey, we're all, having these different conversations, trying to get a seat at the table for a lot of our minority-owned businesses. And then when we all started talking, saying, hey, you know what? I think all of us together represent three different ethnic groups. Obviously, there's a lot within those groups, but then we said, how much more powerful would it be if we all came at this together and we all made sure that, we weren't missing at the table. Whatever meeting we went to, whether it was somebody looking for advocacy for a policy that helps our small businesses, or somebody looking for access to capital, or even workshops. I think we just said, there's got to be something out there where we could all just work together. And I think that it just started this organic conversation, and then we formalized it between all three different boards. I don't even know who called who first at this point.
I do remember the day we signed, though. Bruce was there at the time. We got invited to meet with the chairwoman of the Board of Equalization, and she's like, I need to be there to see that signature being made.
That's right. That was
downtown, right?
Yep.
And she said that we had given her hope, and that she wanted to see this union that we made between the three chambers all across the state of California. And that was one of her biggest desires for us, was to be the example.
That's awesome. And I know Donna, you were chosen president in November, was it?
That's correct. In November.
Was it at the gala, wasn't it? Or
it was right before the gala, before our gala. But I just remember meeting both of you, and it was it was like a marriage at first sight. That's the best way to describe it. We were so aligned in our thinking, and we were aligned in what we want, the vision for our communities. And it was, I don't know, it was just magic. It was magic. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
There's feels like never a dull moment. We always find something, and I feel like right now it was weird. I know when all this kind of started, it was, we were in this upswing of a great economy. In the fall, things were looking really good. People were looking to have more investments in our businesses and our organizations. And then, when news came across the Pacific of COVID-19 hitting, and then there was a lot of insecurity and people didn't really know what was going on. I mean, I always love to tell this story. I think that, when it hit the Asian Pacific Islander community, we didn't know what to do. It was during Lunar New Year, when a lot of people come out to places like Convoy. They come out to like Little Saigon, for these big family events. And out of nowhere, people just stopped going. People started canceling events and this is before we knew anything about how the virus actually spread and the seriousness of it. But I think it's important for everybody watching to know that both the Black and Hispanic chambers reached out to us and offered unwavering support to us and said, how can we support your businesses? How can we be there for you? What can we do? And it was just, what started out as something that was, let's advocate together, became something more, I think even more special, because we started being there for so many different things. And obviously all the situations today put us in a position where, how do we support the Black community? I think all these issues transcend and go across so many different cultural and ethnic backgrounds. And I think all of us working together has created this really neat, we always find these different opportunities that we would have never thought of. And then us being there, and people listen, they want to be part of it. And I mean, when Donna said, hey, we're launching this Black Fund, Donna, you want to talk a little bit about the COVID-19 Resurgent Fund you guys started?
Oh, yeah. So the Black Business Relief Fund, is that the one you're talking about? Oh, yeah. So, just think about, for all of us, even the people who will be listening and watching this, the last few months have been difficult for everyone. And right now, it's just a critical pivot point for the Black community and really for the ethnic communities. When you think about the global health crisis and the economic upheaval and civil unrest over racial injustices and police brutality, it's the time for, I will talk about it, but it's also the time that all of the minority communities have been at the center of these events. We've all endured disproportionate and devastating impacts from everything that's happening right now. And I think many of us are experiencing more uncertainty and discomfort than we ever have before. And when you think about the Black community, whose the disproportionate rates of denials of PPP and loans and grants, and along with the historical systemic racism that has happened for our community for 400 years, it was horrific. And so one of the things that we realized as the Black Chamber is that we needed to create a Black business relief fund that could help our community, our Black businesses, reopen, recover, and rebuild their businesses. And we all three came together on this. It wasn't even a question. And just to show you how we really do connect, it was, whether it was Jason or Iris, they're like, we're here to support. What is it that we need to do to support your community? And vice versa. We all have done that for our community. So that's where we're at.
And how do we get people to contribute to the fund?
Yes. Oh, yes, the fund. I'm sorry. I love this. First of all, if you go to sdblackchamber.org, there is a donate button. We have had an outpour to include, I had just yesterday, the president of the Padres called me personally and said, we are here to support the Black community, and you are going to be the organization of choice for us.
Awesome.
And so he's donated well over $45,000 into the fund. We are having businesses that are pouring out into that fund. Individuals, if you are all about economic stimulus for all of San Diego, this isn't, small businesses are the engine of this community. And the Black businesses they've either closed or they're just about to close, and they are in desperate need of funds to reopen. Please go to sdblackchamber.org and donate. I don't care if it's $1, just please help us.
So wonderful. Wow. That's amazing news about the Padres. That's
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's not just them. I can, if you are a CEO even watching this, or go tell your CEOs that if they really want to create an impact for everyone, for all of us, go to sdblackchamber.org and donate. Yeah. Yep.
Iris, let's talk about some of your businesses. I know you have the biggest numbers, I think, out of all of us.
That's right.
We have 35% of the population in San Diego. We are a large group of people, and not only that, but everyone seems to love our cuisine, our food, our architecture. San Diego, Latin names and Spanish names are all over the county. La Jolla, you got it. So I see construction done at really like multi-million-dollar houses, and they're like haciendas. I'm like, oh, they want Mexican mansions around. So I see my culture everywhere, even people celebrating it or not. And so to see that, to see them survive COVID was like really important to me. And the fight's not over. So I'm glad that we were able to team up as a strategic alliance, because we're helping not just Black-owned businesses, but Asians and Latinos. And a lot of them, I know Latino businesses, even though they were having hardships and that $10 that they had in their pocket was probably the last $10, they were still feeding the community. So you had businesses like Pollo Grill, who refused to lay off their workers, and they just minimized as much as possible, and they still gave food to the community. So businesses like that, I'm so proud that they're part of my community, that they're working with us. And who doesn't love a good taco? We have Taco Tuesday. San Diego would be a sad place without tacos. And
Donna loves her margaritas. So
what would you do without our margaritas? So happy hour would not be the same.
I say happy hour right now, Iris. Why aren't we drinking margaritas right now?
I know.
Who decided it have to be at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock?
But another thing that happened in our community was what happened with the Supreme Court and the DACA, our DACA kids are right now continuously being protected. And that is so important because not many people can adapt easily to a new environment, especially when it's not by choice. When you choose to go abroad, that's something special, but something that you've mentally and financially prepared yourself when you do it. You know, as a person that travels, even when you have that, you come across very unpredictable situations. But imagine the only country in the only world and the only place you've ever loved has discarded you because of something that happened as a child, because you did not know that you were not born in that country and had the rights of that country. And now you're back in a country where you don't know the language. You maybe know the culture a bit, but not to the extent where you can, you know, adapt instantly. And it's just like, I've actually helped out at many schools throughout the county, one being the Academy of Business, and they do have students that are DACA students, and the fear that they have because they don't know if they can stay, if their documentation being renewed, or if they can even make it to college. And if they do, they're paying out of state, out of country prices. So at least having that like, at least I'm going to be here and I can prove myself to be a good American. And I now have that opportunity because they're going to give me that chance is something that must be like a weight off of their shoulders. And the mission, one of the missions, not all of them, one of the missions that we have at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is Path to Citizenship. So for those that prove that they can, they're going to be productive citizens of America, those that go through all these challenges to be here, we are like, we plead, because I can't say much. I am a child of an immigrant. I am so glad to be in America. And I could not see myself, I can travel the world, but there's no place like home. And San Diego and America is my home. And a lot of DACA students feel the same way. So.
Hey, Jason and Iris, do you know what today is? What's today?
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, that's right.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to invite everyone, even if you don't get to do it today, to celebrate. I have to up Iris by one. I mean, okay, yes, Taco Tuesday, but the Black soul food restaurants, girl, yes, they have the best cuisine. And look, I know people talk about stereotypes about fried chicken and watermelon, but it's true. It is fabulous, and it's a Southern cuisine, and there's a lot of history behind soul food. And so, if nothing else, just make sure that you go honor our Black restaurants.
Yeah, let's talk about that today. Name us a couple of your restaurants that we should be checking out today.
Oh, I knew you'd do that. If I name, you know why I won't name one? Because if I name one and forget the
all the rest are gonna be like, yeah, what about me?
You didn't name us. They're all good. So I cannot do that. I want to say, go to Yelp. I'm going to give Yelp a shout out. I don't care what restaurant you choose. If it's look under soul food, and it's amazing soul food restaurants out there. So please enjoy the Juneteenth and have a great time. This is truly the Emancipation Proclamation. We love it. Thank you.
No, just for that, I'm going to go to my favorite Jamaican restaurant and get myself like an oxtail.
Yes.
Oh, that's delicious.
It's so true.
Oh,
what about you, Jason?
For Asian food or Filipino food?
That's
or...
what we should have met at Convoy.
I know. Well, I mean, that was the food. Like once I got this job and being in Convoy, it was just, first of all, we could walk everywhere, which is great. And people go, hey, where do you want to meet up? I mean, I always joke that the one thing that you can't find in Convoy or Convoy District or that area is parking. You know, you got all this food there and everything else.
Actually, there is a dish that I've been looking for that I have not been able to find in Santa Ana or San Diego. And I went on my Vietnam trip, there was a dish called Bún Jai Hanoi. And since majority of the people from San Diego are usually from like Ho Chi Minh or Saigon, I have not been able to find that dish. And
oh,
so
no?
Every Vietnamese restaurant I go to, I specifically ask.
We'll have to do a blast all of our businesses and ask where we can find that.
I was just looking up several of the restaurants that I love, like Cane Patch Kitchen, Surf and Soul, Bud and Rob. Oh, I love their Bud and Rob's New Orleans Bistro. And I almost said the word my favorite. Did you see that almost coming out of my mouth? Sucker Free. Can you imagine a restaurant called Sucker Free Southern Plate and Bar? But I've been there, and the food is absolutely amazing. Where can you go get a Kool-Aid vodka drink. I mean, what? Who makes that up?
Wait, because Donna, you're not from here, right? You're from, well, you were in Austin for a little, but where were you before that?
Oh, like I've lived in 10 countries, so that's hard to say. You know,
Oh,
it's so, yes, it's crazy to say Austin, you know, Texas, California. I lived in Georgia. I've lived all over. Yeah, Seattle. I was in Seattle before.
oh wow.
That. Yeah.
What's the dish you most miss from outside of San Diego? From any country or any city?
Really? Honestly, outside of San Diego, Tex-Mex.
Oh, really?
Tex-Mex food. Oh, yes. I love Mexican food, but I like all foods. I've lived in so many different countries and had food from numerous cultures. And have you ever had, so people are always asking, since this is lunch, and I'm going to make everybody probably throw up, but crickets. Have you ever had crickets?
Oh, yeah.
See?
They're good. I like crickets.
So good.
I've eaten some weird stuff in my day, but ever since COVID and my trip to India, I've learned a thing or two, and I've changed my saying. So back when I traveled the world, I'd be like, whatever the locals eat, I will eat. After getting sick and then having these animals transfer unique, erotic animals, well, to us in San Diego, different, that are transferring these things, I'm a little more cautious now. So, I mean, cat, rat, you name it. And now I'm like, maybe I'll think about it twice. I go to Africa, I might pass on the bush meat this time around.
Oh yeah, that's they call it that term for some of the meats, bush meat. Yeah.
Yeah, bush meat. It's like animals from the bush. But I mean, in the Amazon jungle, I ate some interesting things. And then India, learned my lesson. Not going to happen.
Hey, Jason, maybe you could talk about some of the things that we've accomplished, like with the city council, with the proposal that we.
Oh yeah. Well, we could go as far back. It's weird. We were trying to log, I think, some of the work we were working on. In the beginning, I was thinking, okay, so, in the fall, all of our galas, we were announcing that we were all working together. And I mean, it was one of the things I got, people were saying that gave me the chills, or like how exciting. And, we what was it, like community-based outreach was one of our things we're going to do, sharing our business resources. Basically, if you're a member of one of our chambers, you're a member of all of our chambers. And I think it was probably January, we had a mayoral forum with all the candidates for the primary. A National University. It was they're one of their new beautiful campuses with the giant lecture hall and all this technology. And all the candidates came and they said, this is great having everybody kind of together. A lot of our questions were very similar in terms of our community, but it was, on the civic engagement portion, it's like, how do we get our community more involved, but also together? And I think that was, we always joke about it, but really, truly, we're the majority, right? So it was neat to have, I think, all those mayoral candidates there, and I feel like they enjoyed it. It was cool having that photo of all of us together with all the mayoral candidates, just kind of looking at, hey, like, what does a truly inclusive economy look like in San Diego going forward? What does it look like us being part of the equation? And I think as things kind of went down, we had that workshop with the county doing business with the county for contracting. I know we've all done these all separately, so it's cool to for us to give that benefit to our membership and get to meet more people and do more things. And of course, anytime we do stuff like that, hopefully there's an after party. And then I forget what other events we had. We had quite a few others. And then the advocacy side, like you mentioned, Donna, I think, working the city council and saying, hey, we got these, you got the money coming down, the almost $13 million to give to small businesses for the small business relief fund the city put together. And we advocated for, I think at first it was like 35% set aside for minority-owned businesses. The council went up as far as 50%, and they approved saying a set aside for these minority-owned businesses. And I think the challenges that we all face are, some of our businesses have language barriers. So, translation services, making sure when they apply for stuff, that they're in front of those things. Preparing their financial documents. Not all minority-owned businesses have the same kind of banking relationship or relationship with their bankers as larger businesses do. Or even with, we know at a certain level, a lot of businesses end up having, a CFO. A lot of our small businesses are literally mom and pop shops. So I think the access piece was really big, the translation services, just even getting the applications in front of them, but having a dedicated set aside, I think for the council to be so thoughtful and looking at, and addressing communities that need it the most, I think was really, really important in terms of our advocacy. I know, I think when we come at stuff together, it was, I got chills when the council president and the rest of the council were acknowledging, I think, our efforts working together, saying, it's very rare. And I think there was a couple other instances we were together where people kind of joke saying, I think that was like the first time we heard a nonprofit actually try to fundraise for another nonprofit. And I feel like that's like happened with us a lot is when we got to go, hey, just don't forget about our partners, like the Hispanic Chamber, the Black Chamber. I want to say that's been I think all of us working together has actually resulted in us all receiving more money to do more services for our businesses and getting them that access. So it's odd because I feel like it was all organic, but for whatever reason, like everything just kind of started materializing more. And I feel like even our members got more value out of all of us, just expanding their network with this alliance, with the strategic alliance. But I'm sure I'm missing like some stuff. Iris probably remembers some other things that we've done. And Don, you tell me, like, what other, I know we've done like 1 million workshops, I think, since we started this.
You can pull out the old planner and just go by month to month.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's really cool that, and I hear corporations talking about us all the time. Honestly, even CEOs that are saying, we never thought we'd see it happen, where 3 chambers would come together under a strategic alliance for advocacy and for business. Because here's the thing: if we want to see our county economically recover from the current pandemic and heal these social injustices and unrest, we really do have to approach recovery using this equity framework. And I think that's what we bring to the table all the time, whether it's the city, whether we're talking to the city or the county or corporations. We come with equity framework immediately because we understand the unique needs of our communities, but we also understand the unique need for a collaboration and inclusion and diversity. And I think this is more than any other time in history right now, if companies and organizations can leverage our skills, our businesses, our knowledge to help elevate and move our economy into not just recovery, but rebuilding and be the best practice and the example for so many other communities and states and cities, that we're it. We are absolutely, am I bragging? Absolutely, I'm bragging. Absolutely. Yeah.
Jason, you were saying, and Donna brought up different languages. I know in the Latin culture, we have 2 main languages. Well, we have 2 main ones, but we have so many dialects. How many does the ABA work with? How many languages are you guys set up for?
Yeah, we have a bunch of translation services. That's a great question. We've got them in obviously in Tagalog for the Filipinos. We have it in Mandarin, Cantonese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese. I know I'm missing some. I'm totally missing some, but I know we any single time we can, because and I think for the benefit of everybody who's watching, we're part of the Small Business Development Center network, so we all work together here in San Diego and Imperial Valley, SBDC, and we provide no-cost counseling to any business that's looking to get service from us, whether it's access to capital or any kind of procurement, working with the government for contracting and workshops and just very even basic things, like any kind of accounting, or if you're new, even if startups, we work with them as well. So it runs a gamut, I think. So and translation services is one of them. We do have counselors or business advisors that speak multiple languages. So and within the network too, we've got groups like the IRC, which I can't even count how many languages they have. It's crazy. But Iris, you're fluent in Spanish. What else?
Well, actually, I'm going to be using the ABA services more and more because we're actually binational. So although a lot of our stuff is in Spanish, we do have a lot of immigrants on the Tijuana side trying to get into America that own their own business. So there's a lot of Chinese and Mandarin and Cantonese that we're trying to service in Tijuana, but the language barrier. So we actually have to do like a side Spanish, kind of like Spanish is the language we try to communicate in the best we can. So now that we're the strategic alliance, it'd be like, hey, strategic alliance is going to be more your fit because it's Mandarin and Cantonese is not going to be my forte.
What?
But it's interesting to see how people think you go to Mexico or TJ and it's just going to be Mexicans. And in actuality, you have so many. You have the Somalians, you have the Chinese. All of these people that want to see the American dream, they start sometimes in TJ or they'll start in Mexico. So, and we're binational. So we service both ends. We do Rosarito, Ensenada, Tijuana, Tecate. And we recently were asked by an organization called HEMA for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to bring some of its advice and work to Chihuahua, Mexico, which is across the Texas border. So I'm kind of curious to see how those operations go too. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to postpone. If not tomorrow, I would have been right now. I would have been in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Hey, you had that economic, I'm sorry I couldn't go, the economic mission trip you guys had not too long ago?
We had, we met with the largest organization for business in Mexico, and they were having their event in Tijuana. It was a 3-day event. Actually, we ended up making it 4 because one of our sponsors is Viejas, and they invited everyone over to gamble and for free dinner. But it was great. We had big businesses throughout all of Mexico wanting to do business with California, and that's why they were there. And then afterwards, we went to a vineyard in Ensenada, and the owner of the vineyard is one of the sponsors and also now a member. And he opened up wine in the restaurant for everybody there. It was great. We got to play with his champion horses and so forth. So next time you go, even if you don't want to do business with Mexico because you're scared, go for the wine, go for the food, go for the entertainment. I mean, Mexicans, we know how to party. So close that door, they get the alcohol in, and even though the party ends at 10, you're not getting rid of us till 2 a.m. So
if anybody's watching who has not been to a mixer with the San Diego County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, you are missing out. Oh my gosh, that is so much fun.
Yes,
that's why the casinos keep inviting us back. We do really well with the bar tab. So
that is hilarious. Leave no one behind at the bar.
No, well, actually, that is true because as chairwoman, I have to wait until everybody gets home safely. So maybe I shouldn't be advertising this.
Oh, I think it's great. You know, we're showing that we're human. And a lot of times things are just so tense right now in the world and all the things that are going on. And the three of us who are always, you know, advocating and the long hours and times that we put in. And sometimes we even get tired, you know, just sometimes we feel like we're beat down. But man, when we get on the phone and we just energize each other and we know that we have each other's back and our communities. And I just can't say enough. I just will say to everybody out there, if you are not a member of either chamber, for all 3 chambers, 1, 2, or 3, you know, you're missing out. You're missing out on leadership. You're missing out on friendship. You're missing out on education and business development and all the things that make you not only just a better person, but a better leader, a better contributor, growing your business, growing your mind. And so my request is that join a chamber. You have 3 chambers to choose from, or all of them. If you were smart, you join all of them because we all have our different strengths. And it's a great window of opportunity for people out there. This is the time. We need you. We need you to be a part of our membership because we're here for you. And the only other thing I want to say is to all you elected officials out there, if you get a hold of this at all, a matter of fact, you guys should stream this, send this to them, because here's my chance. Regardless of your political affiliation and the various segments of communities that you represent, this is the time of any other time in history to show a united front with your 3 largest ethnic chambers in the county, to be here, to show a united front that you are going to make sure that there's equity in this recovery and this rebuilding of our businesses. That is what I want you to share. And people who are watching this, that's what you should demand from your elected officials. And most of them, you don't even have to demand it. They're there for us, and they believe in us too.
Yeah, we want them to make sure that we're always top of mind, that the first thing you think of are the people that are always left behind. And I think good policy is not lazy policy. Good policy is putting the people who are always left behind, or the people who don't have a voice. And I think that's where all 3 of us coming together, all 3 organizations saying, hey, we matter, and our businesses matter. And when they're busy. I mean, these businesses are mom and pop shops. These are the people, they employ the majority of San Diegans, but we're their extension. We're their arm that gets them in front of those elected officials, in front of those policymakers, in front of the people that, will make the decisions to make sure that they get equity and funding, to make sure that they get, what's theirs, they get what's fair. And Donnie, you couldn't have said any better. I think like you said, some will listen, and some are already there for us. So I think the more that we amplify that message and work together, it's going to be even more beautiful. That's, San Diego is a beautiful place to live. And I think it's going to keep getting better with all of us working together.
Yeah.
On top of holding our elected officials responsible, we also have to do our own part. So if anybody's watching, make sure that you do shop at a mom and pop place. Make sure that you do support your community, because if it's one thing to get legislation there to help us, but it's another thing to make sure that there's profits for our businesses on a local level that are employing our community as well. Because if we don't, who else will? And if our businesses disappear, our community starts disappearing, because I don't want to have Walmarts right next to each other. I want to make sure that we have a mom and pop shop that's going to sponsor the local little league down the street. So let's make sure we do our part. We make decisions with our dollars. Let's make sure our dollars are heard. So.
You're so right, Iris. I think when you support a local business, somebody that's in your community, you're supporting, your neighbor. You're supporting their kids going to the local schools, them being able to go to camps or any kind of other educational after-school programs. You're supporting your family. I mean, these are, and then I think this is a topic we've talked a lot about, is how can we give the business to our own community versus to somebody who's not, right? To make sure that we're investing in ourselves. And I think sometimes we underscore that, or we discount our own, some of our own community, and saying, how can we find, for us, how do we find another, Asian plumber, right? Or how do we find, maybe a Black plumber? And I think for us, it's having the conversation, hey, if we don't have that business, do you have that business, right? Any kind of technician, or, any kind of job, we could all call each other and say, hey, we need somebody for this. Can we not? And that's the great thing, it's going to not just be a small business from my own community. Now I'm going to be talking to Iris and her community and say, hey, how can we support somebody in yours? And I think that's, we can't underscore that enough, and getting people to make sure that they invest in their own community, invest in your neighbors, and invest in any of our minority corridors. I mean, there's so many amazing small businesses, and then they, at some point, hopefully turn into something really big. But
those businesses that have been doing what we do, like a fusion, the Asian fusion with Mexican food, or the
there's so many good ones out there. Like,
hey, soul food. Don't forget the soul food. See, she's already excluding. She's already excluding.
We have
I'm not excluding. I was talking about fusions. I don't know why I'm doing hand effects as I'm doing it.
So everyone that's listening to this is really how it goes on the private calls. We have so much fun.
Well, we have Cross Street Chicken and Beer in Convoy, chicken and waffles.
We've
got, you have carne asada fries. We've got longanisa fries. It's like, oh my gosh, there's so many, and some of them that have like a lumpia burrito with like lumpia inside I'm scared.
I love it. I love it. You're so funny. You know what? Every dollar counts during this crucial time. You both are right. And we do need to invest into, in our Black, brown, and Asian businesses. It's a critical time for us. For some of those businesses, it's a make or break time. And so the more that we can, support all of our businesses, the minority community businesses. It's critically important. Critically important. I don't know. I keep thinking about our elected officials, and I do. I love them. I love them all. But we need to stop this colorblind policy approach that they have to this pandemic, because it's how it impacts our community is serious. They need to start being color bold and have an intentional focus on communities of color. And so they, all the social injustices and economic inequities. There's this moral imperative to distribute resources based on racial equity. And so stop fighting that and let's call it what it is, and let's be okay with that. Because how I feel about it is that when the most vulnerable communities and businesses are healthy and thriving, then all businesses and communities and businesses are healthy and thriving. So, let's do this together, all of us together as a community in San Diego County.
I love it.
Yeah. So it's time for me to eat watermelon and chicken.
Yeah.
Feed into the stereotype all the way down the line.
You guys come up to the North County and actually make the drive up here. I'll take you guys to like Sierra Madre. They have great margaritas. And if you're in the South Bay, you can do a little fusion. I mean, there's barrio dogs. There's have you ever had like the Mexican hot dogs across the border back in the olden days?
Oh yeah.
Now this is like hot dogs take to 1,000. And it's just Mexican hot dogs. Like you'll never be the same. Like when you go to the campgrounds or do like a beach barbecue, you'll look at your hot dog with disgust because it won't be the barrio dogs from Barrio Logan. So
I know South
we'll
Bay.
schedule it. South Bay,
MJ's used to be called MJ's Yogurt. They're in Chula Vista, like right by Southwestern College. They've got the longanisa fries and all the cool fusion stuff, and there's so many good places, and Convoy too. Like we just gotta meet more. Well, now that everything's slowly opening up, we're gonna be in that place where we're gonna start being a good place. I mean, I know I've spent a lot on food delivery and pickup, I think, the last few months. And I always try to support the local mom and pop shop. So I know put our money where our mouth is, I think, for this. But do you have any other parting words for the folks who are watching? Either of you?
Your eyes open. The Strategic Alliance is going to go farther than you'd expect.
Yeah. I would say that we're here to support you all the way. Through this pandemic, through social injustices, through inequalities, no matter what we're talking about. And we're here to support the businesses and our communities, because guess what? Without the businesses, there are no communities. And so we're here 100% to advocate for you, to make sure that you're developed. We develop from a business development standpoint, and we're your leaders. We are your leaders in the community, and you should always feel free to count on us to be there for you and to help you recover, reopen, and rebuild your businesses.
Couldn't say any better, Donna. Oh, I definitely want to thank the team at Convoy District Partnership, Lauren Garces, everybody else who helped put this together for the San Diego and Me experience. So I hope everybody else enjoys the rest of their day following this, and you can reach out to any of us. You can strategicalliancesd.org. I know it's in the pamphlet and the digital flyer that they've got. Or you could go to Central San Diego Black Chamber or sdblackchamber.org, right, Donna?
Yes.
The Central San Diego Black Chamber of Commerce. And then the San Diego County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is sdchcc.org.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
You're good. It took me a whole year to get the acronym right.
And then ABA, Asian Business Association, San Diego, abasd.org. So, love you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.